Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today I'm going to show you how you can get Copilot to work on the Nintendo Switch. Now Copilot is a feature off the Xbox One, and what it allows you to do is it allows you to connect two controllers as the one character. Now you might wonder, why on earth would you need to do this? Why do you need two controllers to do just the one input? Well, there's a number of reasons. Primarily it's for people with limited mobility. For example, if you haven't got full use of your limbs, you might find it hard to use a controller that's designed for people with two hands. In which case, you can use a controller in one hand, and possibly you can use another controller on the floor, and you can use your toes to press the relevant buttons, or whatever configuration suits you. Another reason where I find it quite useful is if you're playing with younger kids, or I've found it useful in the past, then they might be struggling on a certain part of the game, in which case instead of taking the controller off them, you can just use your controller to complete that part of the game that they're struggling on. So it's not as bad for them because they're not having to hand over the controller to dad to do the hard bit. You're just saying, oh, let me do this bit for you, and you're just taking it over, and they've still got their controller in their hand, and then they can continue on again. Another reason why it could be useful is just purely for fun. Sometimes it's nice just to have two controllers, two different people controlling the one thing up on screen. So when I show it to you now on a Nintendo Switch, an idea could be if you were doing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, then you could both be playing as the one fighter, and then one of you could be in control of the left and right, and the other one could be in control of the, for example, the jump or the smashes, etc. On the Nintendo Switch, it doesn't have to be limited to two. The little workaround that I'm going to show you, you can connect 3, 4, 5 controllers, and then all of you can get together and have the ultimate teamwork game trying to win. Now, with this, it's not officially supported by Nintendo. This is purely a workaround. It's a hack that works, but I think it's still going to be useful to people, whether you've got younger children, whether you've got limited mobility, or whether you want to do it just for fun. Now let me show you how to do it on the Nintendo Switch. So on this one here, it's really easy because obviously it's designed this way. All I have to do is press A, and now these two controllers here are working as the one input. Of course, on the Nintendo Switch, it's not going to be that easy unless they were to release it. But because they haven't released it, this is a workaround, so it involves an adapter and a little bit of work, but it's still easy to do, and hopefully it will be of use. So let's get started. Okay, so here we have the Nintendo Switch, and I'm going to do it in handheld mode to begin with, and then later on I'm going to show you it in docked mode. So when it's in handheld mode, you're going to have to use a little USB-C on-the-go cable, but realistically when you're doing this, most of the times it would be in docked mode. So now the adapter we need to get this to work is this Magic NS adapter made by Mayflash. Now I'm always using this adapter, but let me stress, Mayflash do not pay me for this. I actually bought this myself. They've never contacted me, and although I use their products in most of my videos, they've never once given me anything for free. So I use this because it works well, not because I get paid to do so. Now, to get this to work, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to connect up the Joy-Cons and the Pro Controller to this and not this. So I know that sounds strange because obviously these work perfectly on here, but because we want to use Copilot, this is the workaround to get it to work. We're connecting it to this first, and this will allow us to connect up numerous controllers as one player. So let's plug in the USB-C on the go cable, and we're going to plug this into here. Now if you're wondering how much this costs, it costs about £18 in the UK. In America you're going to be able to find it for under $20 US. And with my one, I even got this little Mayflash USB on the go cable with it for free as well. So when you plug it in, if it's bought recently, then hopefully you will have all the different modes on it and you won't have to do any more. If you bought this adapter a year ago, then update it and you will find that you will have more modes than you did originally. So basically we need to be on this kind of purple mode here. It does all different modes for different things. To work your way through the different modes, just press and hold this black button here, and then what will happen is it will scroll through to the next mode. So the yellow one now is for the Neo Geo Mini, and then scroll through again and it will go to whatever it is, like green, then red, then blue, etc. So now I'm just going to quickly fast forward through this because I want to get back to the purple mode, which is the Switch Pro mode. Okay, so we're back on the purple mode now. So what we have to do is we have to sync up the controller to this here. So let's just start because this is going to be the easiest. The Joy-Cons are a little bit awkward because remember, we want them working as two Joy-Cons in when they're joined. So we don't want them working as a single Joy-Con. We want them working as one controller. So it makes it a little bit harder to do. So now what we're going to do is we're going to tap this button until this starts flashing quickly. There you go. And now we're going to press and hold the sync button up here until this starts flashing along the place. There you go. You can see that that's flashing there. And then after a few seconds, not sure if you can see that in the camera, but there we go. We have now synced up. So if you have a look, you can see the green light there. Now this is working up here, but it's not working on the Nintendo Switch. It's working on here. So if I was to quickly unplug this, you will see, so if I'm moving it now, right, moving it back and forth, as soon as I unplug it, stops, yeah? Because it's not working on the actual Switch. And you can see now it's trying to sync again. So let's plug it back in, and it should sync itself back up by hitting one of the buttons. There we go, we've synced up again. So now, if you have a look, it's working here. Now it comes up with a sign for the Pro Controller because this is mimicking a Pro Controller. Now to connect up the Joy-Cons, it's slightly harder because what will happen is to connect them both up as one controller, you have to sometimes unsync them. So you can see now these are both synced as player 2, but we want them to be player 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to unsync both of them by just tapping them here, and now they're unsynced. We're now going to put this into sync mode again by just tapping it again. So by tapping it once, we've disconnected this one. Tapping it again, it's ready to be found. So now let's hold down the sync button here, and you will see now that will start flashing, and after a few seconds these two will sync up. Okay, so that's fine. Now we have to do the same with this one here, but this will normally lose its sync when we do it. So press 1 to lose its sync. You can see now that that's gone off, and now press that again, and now hold down this one here. Now I know it seems really confusing, but once you get used to this, you can do this within a minute or so. Right, so now these two have synced up, but now this one hasn't synced up here. So let's just hit a button here, and now this should sync up. If it doesn't, we're going to unsync this one, and then, there you go, see it didn't sync up. So now, just tap this one to unsync it, and do this one first. There, that's now synced up, and now tap this one, and this one will sync up. There we go. So now these two are synced up via this one here, not via the Switch. Okay? So now to get the Pro Controller working again, we just need to tap any one of the buttons, and you will see that it will start syncing up. In fact, there you go, it's synced up again already. And that is it. This is now ready to be working as Copilot. This is all working as player 1. You can even see there on the lights, they're all down as player 1. So to begin with, let's just do an example of maybe if you were helping out somebody who didn't know a game very well. So let's say if they were playing Mega Drive Classics and then they were stuck on something, then I'm going to show you it working on these two, but then this can also take over. Then I'm going to show you, I think I'm going to connect the Xbox Adaptive Controller in here along with this one to show you maybe Mario Kart working, and then at the very end I think I'm going to connect up a Wii U controller, might even connect up, I don't know, might connect up an Xbox controller, and then we're going to all play Super Smash Bros. Together. Okay, so here we have Altered Beast, and this is the boss at the end of the level. Now pretend that your son or daughter or whoever's using the Joy-Cons are struggling with this particular boss. Then you can take over on this one here. So let me just take it off pause and just show you it working. So you can see now that that's working there. Yep, now let's say if they're struggling, you can take over here, and then you can defeat the boss, and then they can carry on playing the rest of the game. Okay, so you get the idea of that one. Let's show you now with the adaptive controller up, docked onto the TV using the, let's do it on Mario Kart, I think. To set up the Xbox Adaptive Controller, we've got to do it in a wired configuration, but it comes with the lead, so it's nice and easy. So all we have to do is, you see that I've got the Magic NS adapter plugged into the dock down there. So we're just going to plug this into here, and it will just sync up straight away. We don't have to do anything else. So now, if you have a look, can you see it moving around up there? And as well as that, I can still use this one over here. So what we're going to be doing is, we're going to be putting this to profile number 1 because I just plugged this into my PC, and I made this button here the right trigger. So as far as Mario Kart's going to be concerned, I don't often use brake on it. I just take my foot off the accelerator when I want to slow down. So it's going to be accelerate, right trigger with my feet, and then we're going to be using left and right here, and I'm going to be using this to use the item. So we're going to pop this down on the floor, and then we're going to be playing this with our feet. But just to show it working here, remember on the Xbox the B button is actually in the place of the A where the Switch Pro controller is. But you can see there that it's working. Yeah, you see moving around. Right, let's pop this on the floor and do a bit of gameplay. Now remember, you can set this up however it suits your needs. Oh, I didn't have it on profile 1. Hold on, there we go. Right. So you can see now drifting. Not a good start, let me catch up. Now the vibration, everything works, but what doesn't work as far as I know is the motion controls, because I think the motion controls haven't been programmed by Mayflash unless I've missed something. So I suppose they wouldn't be expecting people to be connecting up this to their Nintendo Switch, so motion controls don't work. But as you can see, I'm in third there. This is the first time I've actually played this in this configuration. But with a bit of practice, and this is on 150cc, I'm sure you would be able to get to first. In fact, let me just take this guy at the corner. There we go. Right, let's move on to Super Smash Bros. Now and connect up a whole heap of controllers just to show you what it's like. So here we have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and this might be just a fun way to get a group of you together to sort of challenge yourself to see how far you can get just playing the one character using teamwork. So just still have this connected up. At the moment you can see I've got it on no profile, so it's just default, and now this would be working as the D-pad. You can see the taunts there. This would be B and this would be A. Yeah, but obviously you could plug in various things into here and into the ports if you wanted more. Now if you have a look here, we have the Switch Pro controller again as player 1. Yeah. Okay, and we have the Joy-Cons again as player 1. And lastly, we've got the Wii U Pro controller. So that would be 4 different people doing different things. Right, okay, so you're not limited to that. Interestingly, I tried to connect up the Xbox One controller, and yes, it connects, but what happens then is I can't connect up the Joy-Cons at the same time as it. So it's a choice between the Joy-Cons or the Xbox One controller, which is kind of interesting. But I haven't done a limit to this. I don't know whether 5, 6, 7, 8 controllers can work. This is just purely to show you that it is possible to do. And then you see, Copilot really is going to be a useful feature to many people, and not just for the reasons you think of it. So it's a kind of overlooked feature off the Xbox One, in my opinion. But I think if it was brought out from the Nintendo Switch, and who knows, in the future it might well be, then I think it could definitely have its uses. If you like this video, I appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up. If you've got any other ideas for how Copilot could be useful, then again, put it down in the comments, because there's going to be many games where 2 people could cooperate together to do the one thing. So yeah, that's it for this video. Please subscribe if you want more how-to videos, and take care. Bye now.